हरे कृष्णा। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सुवयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। मैं घोर अज्ञान के अंधकार में उत्पन्न हुआ था और मेरे गुरु ने अपने ज्ञान रूपी प्रकाश से मेरी आंखें खोल दी। मैं उन गुरु को सादर दंडवत प्रणाम करती हूँ। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णवों की जय। हरे कृष्णा।
पिछले 2 श्लोकों से भगवान अर्जुन को बता रहे हैं कि स्थिर बुद्धि वाला व्यक्ति अपनी सभी इंद्रियों को किस प्रकार संयम में रखता है। और अब श्लोक संख्या 61 में भगवान ने बिल्कुल स्पष्ट रूप से कह दिया ताकि अर्जुन के मन में कोई संशय या दुविधा न रह जाए। और अर्जुन के माध्यम से भगवान हमें सुस्पष्ट सुझाव दे रहे हैं कि यदि हम समाधि या स्थित प्रज्ञ की अवस्था प्राप्त करना चाहते हैं तो हमें निश्चित रूप से क्या करना चाहिए। यह श्लोक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है हम सभी के लिए। आइए श्लोक संख्या 61 का वाचन करते हैं। तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता। इस श्लोक में कृष्ण अर्जुन से कह रहे हैं कि जो व्यक्ति अपनी इंद्रियों को पूर्णतया वश में रखते हुए अपनी चेतना को मुझ में स्थिर कर देता है वह मनुष्य स्थिर बुद्धि वाला कहलाता है। स्थिर बुद्धि अर्थात जिसका मन अविचलित रहता है किसी भी परिस्थिति में। इस श्लोक में मत्परः शब्द अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। भगवान ने स्पष्ट रूप से अर्जुन को बता दिया है कि कहाँ इंद्रियों को लगाना है। आइए अब हम श्रील प्रभुपाद के तात्पर्य से समझने का प्रयास करते हैं। और यदि हम पूर्ण श्रद्धा और एकाग्र चित्त से श्रील प्रभुपाद से समझेंगे तो अवश्य हमें समझ आ जाएगा। श्रील प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद हमें बता रहे हैं कि योग की चरम सिद्धि है कृष्ण भावना में स्थित होना। और जब तक कोई कृष्ण भावना भावित नहीं होता तब तक उसकी इंद्रियों का वश में होना संभव ही नहीं है। पिछले श्लोक में हमने देखा कि दुर्वासा मुनि अम्बरीश महाराज से बहुत क्रोधित हो गए थे क्योंकि वे अपनी इंद्रियों पर संयम रखने में असफल हो गए, जबकि वे महान योगी थे जिन्होंने हजारों साल तपस्या की थी। और अम्बरीश महाराज दुर्वासा मुनि के समान योगी भी नहीं थे, लेकिन फिर भी वे बिल्कुल शांत और स्थिर थे क्योंकि वे भगवान के भक्त थे जिनकी समस्त इंद्रियां सदैव ही भगवान की सेवा में लगी रहती थी। तो ये स्पष्ट हो गया कि भगवान का भक्त इंद्रियों को नियंत्रित करने में सफल होता है और योगी अपनी इंद्रियों पर पूर्ण नियंत्रण नहीं रख पाता है। इसका उदाहरण हमने ऋषि विश्वामित्र तथा दुर्वासा मुनि में देख लिया है। In this श्लोक, Krishna is clearly saying to Arjun that a person who controls or restrains his senses from the worldly things and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. Krishna is clearly saying mat paraha, which means engage all your senses unto me. Srila Prabhupada very clearly says that unless a person is Krishna conscious, it is very difficult for him to control his senses. Srila Prabhupada says that the highest concept of yogic perfection is to be in Krishna consciousness, which is very clearly stated by Krishna himself in this shlok. Srila Prabhupada says yog means to add, and the perfect yog means to be in connection with Krishna all the time. Now let's try to understand that how King Ambrish was able to control his senses and Durvasa Muni unnecessarily became angry out of pride and could not check his senses. To explain this, Srila Prabhupada has quoted a very beautiful shloka from Bhagavatam. The shlok goes like this: Save manah Krishna padar vindayo. It means that we have to engage our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. Vachansi Vaikunt Gunanuvarnane. It means that we must always glorify Krishna or Golok Vrindavan. And then Karo Hare Mandir Marjanadishu Shrutim Chakarachyut Sat Kathodaye. It means that the hand should be engaged to clean the temple of the Lord, and the ears should be engaged in hearing Krishna Katha and Krishna Kirtan, and the eyes should be engaged in looking at the beautiful Tribhang Swarup of Krishna. Why is Krishna called Tribhang? Because he is bent from three places. And then Mukund Lingalaye Darshane Drisho Tadbhart Gatra Sparshe Angam Sangamam. It means that his hands are used to serve the body of a devotee. And then Ghranam cha tat pad saroj saurabhe Shrimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpite. It means that the devotee, he smells the flowers which are offered to Krishna and tastes the prasadam and tulasi leaf only after offering it to Krishna. So we see that Ambrish Maharaj used his each and every sense organs in the service of Krishna only. Now further in this shlok it says, Pado Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarparne. It means that the legs of a devotee are used to go to the dham or temple and to do the parikrama. And then Shiro Rishikesh Padav Bhivandane. It means he uses his head to bow down in front of Rishikesh, who is the controller of the senses of each and every jeev, and that is Krishna. So it means that we must do Dandavat Pranam in front of the deity of Krishna. And then Kamam cha dasye natu kamya kamyaya. It means he serves Krishna only to please Krishna and not to fulfill his personal desires. The best example of devotional process is of the Brijvasis. Their life's only purpose is to please Krishna. And how do they do it? They do it by making butter for Krishna, by playing with Krishna, or making garlands for Krishna. And now the last line of the shlok, very beautiful. Yathotam shlok janashraya ratihi. It means that these are the qualities of a person who has engaged himself all the time in Krishna's loving bhakti. So this shlok of Bhagavatam gives us a very clear step-by-step process to attain the stage of Mat Paraha, which is mentioned in the present shlok number 61. Krishna has absolutely clearly told Arjun that unless one engages all the senses in the service of Krishna, it is not possible at all to control the senses. Srila Prabhupada says, Krishna Surya Sam, Maya hai andhakar. Jahan Krishna nahi, wahan Maya ka adhikar. So the greatest lesson for each one of us in this shlok is this, that if we wish to attain the highest perfection of yoga, then we have to follow the footsteps of Ambarish Maharaj, and then automatically all our senses will become satisfied and calm and will not run behind the attractions of the worldly things. And Srila Prabhupada says that this is the highest perfect yoga. And Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna Bhakti is the most easiest thing to be done in this world. Like when I am speaking about Krishna, I am doing Krishna Bhakti because I am engaging my tongue in glorifying Krishna. When you are listening about Krishna, this is also Krishna Bhakti because you are engaging your ears to listen about Krishna. And afterwards, when you will think about Krishna, that will become Smaranam, which is the highest form of Bhakti. So this shlok gives us a very clear step-by-step way how to become Mat Paraha, how to engage all our senses in Krishna Bhakti. Now, the next two shloks are going to be very interesting because Krishna is going to explain it to Arjun that what happens when people do not engage their senses to Krishna and they engage their senses to the worldly attractions, which is temporary. So till then, let us continue doing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and keep connected with me. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
I bow down to Srila Prabhupada for giving us the most secretive knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in such an interesting and understandable manner. I thank all my listeners who take out time to listen to the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. I request everyone to please write the comments as it encourages me and enhances the understanding of others. Please do write your comments, and in case you have any questions, please do write. I will surely try to answer them. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.